Right, so with this question, it's got some mobile phones show a number of world clocks, time for London there, New York and Sydney. And the question says, when it's 3 p.m. on Wednesday in New York, what time will that be in Sydney? Alright, so this is sort of comparing here two places, New York and Sydney. No mention of London, alright, so I don't think London comes into play with this here. This would be a display, wouldn't it, on a mobile phone maybe, but we can completely ignore that, right? It's not relevant, right? Sometimes you get questions like that where information is irrelevant, so we'll ignore it. Comparing New York and Sydney, we can see, look, when it's 6:30 in the morning, okay, so that's in the morning, 24-hour clock on a Monday, it's actually same day in Sydney, but it's actually, that's in the night, isn't it? Okay, 22:30. So whereas we're just starting the morning in New York, the Monday is already gone in Sydney, and it's late in the evening. So it's quite a few hours difference. Sydney is well ahead. So what we need to do, I would first of all, is work out that time difference between New York and Sydney. So 06:30. Okay. What I would do is go to see how many hours it is from 06:30 to 22:30. Okay, and because we're dealing with a 24-hour clock, all right, the 06 then will keep going until we get to 22. So we're talking about numbers. So you just need to see the difference there between 22 and 6. So we're actually adding on 16 hours. If you look at that there, to get from 6 to 22, that would be 16 hours. Okay, different. If this was done with a 12-hour clock with AM and PM, you have to be careful here in terms of working this out. All right. If it was AM and PM, you maybe have to jump steps, go to maybe 12 o'clock first, and then start the time again. Then after 12 o'clock, to work out exactly how many hours gap there is. But here it's clearly 16 hours. So we could say, and remember, because this is like one of these QWC questions, we need to make a statement. Sydney is 16 hours ahead of New York. Okay, now that's the situation there. So if it is 3 p.m. in New York on Wednesday, we need to see then what time it is in Sydney. Remember, Sydney is 16 hours ahead. Okay, so we need to add 16 hours onto that. So 3 p.m. Remember what I said before, if we're dealing with AM and PM clocks, okay, rather than 24-hour, then we need to be careful how we jump forward. We can't just add, in this case, 16 hours to this, okay, because you end up reading that as 19 p.m. and that doesn't make sense at all. So we need to be careful. 3 p.m. that will be 3 in the afternoon. So as I said, go to 12 o'clock. Okay, go to 12 o'clock. That's the best way to do it, because at 12 o'clock it starts all over again. 12 o'clock, of course, now will be midnight. You want to write midnight if you want, because it's 3 p.m. in the afternoon to midnight. Now, going from 3 to midnight, if you think about it, going from 3 to 12, well, that gap there is 9, isn't it? Because 12 take away 3 is 9 hours. All right. Now, we need to jump ahead, remember, 16 hours. So I've jumped ahead 9. Now think how many more hours I need. I need to jump ahead another 7 hours, don't I? Okay, because I want to jump 16 hours in total. So we'll go from midnight, add on 7 hours, I'll end up with 7 a.m. Okay, so we can say then 16 hours ahead in Sydney, it will be 7 a.m. But don't forget, it's 16 hours ahead. We've gone past midnight. So actually, it won't be on Wednesday now. It'll be on Thursday. It'll be the following day, because it's 16 hours ahead. It's already gone into the next day.